Imagine what it was like earlier last week. I wanted to be reasonably calm and effective on video, because I don't think it's worth doing a sort of a video rant. It's worth doing this in a calm, measured atmosphere. Hi there, Scott from Wessex Blades in England. It's coming up to the last 2 days of October 2017, and the consultation online from the British Home Office is now underway and will be still online for the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks. Now I put up the video probably a few months ago now, and I called it the Alamo. I call it the Alamo for varying reasons. Famous knife makers were there, and famous knife makers were lost. It was a bit of a last stand, and horrendously outnumbered. So that was a case of why I called it the Alamo, for that sort of figurative parallel, as it were. After that, I had this meeting with Jacob Rees-Mogg, and you know, the extra time that I had with him, and in all fairness to the chap, you know, he's taking meetings for. There's no bus service to my bus stop at the end of the road, through to the hedges never cut down the bottom of the field, and you can imagine the community plethora of mixed bag that he gets to get some bod come in, and he's a noise maker, and he was on. He knew exactly what the proposal was, knew exactly what it understood. Okay, he said he put his point across. So what Jacob has done, and it looks like what he's done. He's now got a reply back from, and this is another one for your letters to go to, and this is the purpose of this video. I think I'm going to call this one Shield Wall, because if you know what it's like in a phalanx, if one shield drops, that's it, it's game over. The language, the atmosphere of his response from Sarah.newton.mp, Minister for Crime, Safeguarding and Vulnerability, the mood of it is their intent. The mood is very dismissive of practices at the moment, of the effectiveness, whilst at the same time their complete negation of them doing anything to publicly shame those that are failing on the age checks. Their failure to come forward and say that they are prosecuting those people who are failing age checks. Their failure of saying that they are re-educating those doing the age checks and doing the age checks wrong. All they're interested in is saying, we've done age checks, and Unfortunately, evidence from recent test purchases operations showed that the failure rate on online test purchasing is still far too high. Still far too high. What is far too high? 4%? Failure? What's far too high? 80%? What's far too high? No specifics. There's nothing you can tie them down on. It's the usual authoritative speak down to the lesser mortals. We've tried this. Vague. The results were not good. No specifics. And zero appreciation for anybody that is doing it better than the shops are, and it doesn't look like the people who are failing are getting a rollicking or a comeuppance. So them's just letting the side down. Where are they getting clobbered? Okay, we're talking Amazon, right? So anyway, in all fairness to Jacob, I mean I know it's addressed to me, but he's been up front. So I'm going to read the letter out rather than show it, because it's got his address and my address. You can get everything online anyway for your local MP or Sarah Newton anyway. So I'm going to read it out. Mr. Williams, please find and close a letter I received from Sarah Newton, Minister for Crime, Safeguard and Vulnerability at the Home Office, in response to your concerns about the intended consultation involving restrictions potentially being placed on the online sale of knives. As I say, that's the official garb, of which I was still saying there's a distinct lack of respect for those who are doing it with a massive amount of effort. Okay? Yeah. Thanks for your interest in my knives. Thanks for your interest in my work. But what I need from you is driving license, selfie with driving license. I could do an online FaceTime video. I've done that on messages beforehand. There's a lot of time and effort goes into it. Heine Haynes, that first order you do with Heine Haynes, you got to send your passport in, your driver's license in, and when they've cleared you, now you're cleared. I've spoken with Heine Haynes. That's what we're doing. We're doing it in response to the law the way it is now, which is effective for stopping people buying knives under 18. You want to buy a knife? Or are you over 18? Yeah, you have a driver's license. Kid's 23. Done. Could you send passport in, please? Don't hear back. Laters. It's no more complicated than that, but it's the due diligence that the sale, the deposit doesn't proceed until the age check is finalised. And we're doing that. Those of us are doing that. And not only that, we're in a market that's completely different than the street shanks that these kids are using. So, all of that and more in the sentence of involving restrictions potentially being placed on the online sale of knives. It's a lot more than that. I hope that the Minister's letter is helpful in addressing the concerns you raised. It's not really, because it just proves their overarching blasé attitude to doing a response. You'll be pleased to read the concerns you raised with me will be fed into the consultation when it takes place. You may, of course, also wish to view the consultation, which appear on the government. See, this is it. They could have the consultation, but it's a bit like Ford Prefect finding out about his house. If it's on some dark cornered web somewhere, and apparently it's 8 weeks and not 12 weeks, they could just let this thing slide, disappear, real quiet, not making a big song and dance about it, not letting everybody who could be affected by it know about it. And it's just, it's all over now, consultation's passed. Anyway, we have a good wish, and yes, that's ink on there, he signed that. So, Jacob did what he said he was going to do. Tore it up. Sorry, that's a backbencher, Jacob Rees-Mogg, so he can filibuster a bit. This is a cabinet minister now. Thank you for your letter. Thanks to the Home Secretary on behalf. So Jacob wrote to Amber Rudd. And Amber Rudd has fobbed it down the line to Sarah Newton, Minister. So You know who we're going to be writing to, don't you? Both of them. Shield Wall, right? So Jacob wrote to the Home Secretary on behalf of your constituent, name and address. Since meeting Jacob, I have had 18, 20 interests in knives, and when I come to doing the age check, don't hear no more. I had a bit of a rush on. Checking me out, guys, were you? I reckon they was checking me out. Shield Wall. Alright. Yeah, so they know who I am, they know where I live. That's what happens when you raise your head above the parapet, innit? So, on recent announcement or intention to consult new offences to tackle knife crime. Yeah, I got nothing against you lot tackling knife crime. There's anti-knife crime. I don't want the language being confused between anti-knife crime and anti-knife. Big discrepancy. The public pick up on anti-knife, 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 anti-knife. It's knife crime. So here's a response as Minister for Crime, Safeguard and Vulnerability. And this is one of their patronising statements. While it is of course the case that knives are used lawfully and legitimately in households and by businesses across the country, that's the only thing she's saying. Ready? And the rest is, we do consider that the measures were announced will further strengthen the law in relation to the online sale to under 18s. We consider that the measures that are announced will strengthen the law. You don't need to strengthen the law. The law is black and white. It says do not sell to someone under 18. How simple is that? I'm a camping shop and someone's selling online with their website and someone's done an interest in it and I've asked for their passport, a selfie, and I did a live Facebook video with them. Kid's 24 years old, looks like a nice kid, so I okayed the sale. Was he sold to an under 18? No. He sold to someone who was 24 years of age. He was giving him ID. And the ID looks as genuine as it could possibly be. And he's talking to him online on the video. That scenario is sorted out. The law as it stands. So, we'll further strengthen the law in relation to the online sale now. We don't need to strengthen it. The law as it is. Unfortunately, evidence from recent test purchase operations. I reckon I've had a few show that the failure rate on online test purchases is still far too high. Figures will be helpful. And young people are able to use online sales to avoid age verification checks when these will be subjected if purchasing a knife in a store. Ticky boxes is not an age check. Ticky box of going, I'm confirming. Didn't get a ticky box when I did Heine Haynes years back. I had to send my passport or driver's license or something in. Right. Our intention is to consult on changes so that knives purchased online would no longer be delivered to a private address. There's a problem now in this. And would therefore require collection at a place where ID can be checked in person. The knives may be collected at a retailer's high street store where available, or online only retailers will have to make arrangements with another retailer, post office or collection service for the item to be collected at a place where agent identity can be verified in person. We do consider that this change and others that we will consult on, and others that we will consult on. Oh yeah, that's the rest of it, all the other questions, will help us go further in tackling knife crime and preventing young people under 18 purchasing knives online. Purchasing knives online. It's not going to stop them walking out the back door, going to the knife block on the way out, is it? You may also notice we're consulting on whether to ban possession of dangerous or offensive weapons in private. What is a dangerous and what is an offensive weapon? A weapon is a weapon. Offensive weapon. Offensive. I just don't know that. I'm not even going to say that word anymore. A weapon, tool, right. Specifically weapons such as zombie knives, knuckle dusters. Keep thinking dustbusters rather than knuckle dusters. Flick knives and other weapons related to Christmas, 88 and Restriction Weapons Act 1959. This is where they're coming for your flippers now. This means that if police find such weapons on private property, they are able to take action and remove the knives. The consultation will also seek views on whether the offence of possession of a knife in a public place should be extended, so it also includes other educational establishments such as higher institute. So at the moment you can't, I mean it's a different story because I was an employee, so I had tools on me, but to have a knife on a school is a little bit slappy wrist compared with being in the street, slappy wrist. And now they want to make slappy wrist universities and colleges as well as schools. I understand. The only snag is when some bot has ever decided to turn up doing anything ridiculous, you know, the response is going to be 15 minutes away. So they've got an idea of trying to do something there. Universities, there's no reason why a university should be any less safe than a school. All of our places should be safe. Anyway, I understand Mr. Williams' concern. Spelled that wrong. So my name is Williams. And she's put William S. It's Williams. And hope he will be fully involved. How fully involved? When you haven't provided the link, you're just telling me where the website is. Fully involved? Have you, Miss Newton, invited me to an online meeting? Chit chat? Personal letter? I'm going to be involved, alright. This will be published on the website, blah blah blah, and be open to the public, so all interested parties, including retailers, can provide their views, which will be taken in due consideration. Due consideration. Quite how due they're going to be with it, I am not confident at all. Okay, in the outcome of the consultation process, yours sincerely, Sarah Newton. And obviously she's put, don't hesitate in contacting me with this to Jacob. Definite shield wall, lads, because the entire letter, which is 6 paragraphs, and all we get as any form of credit, any form of respect is, well, of course, the case that knives are used lawfully and legitimately in households or by business across the country. That's it. The rest is bang, 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 bang. I know the stupid kids are on the streets with the all-consuming fear in their minds that they need a knife to defend themselves because they're so scared of the culture that there is on the streets at the time, with other hoodie kids going around and other groups going around and the face-off. It's West Side Story, alright? It's warrior, it's gang culture. I'd like there to be a youth group on every street corner. Along with the policemen, that'd be great, wouldn't it? But they cut the funding. We've got 4GS possibly having arrest things. So what's this? Deplete the police? Cut the funding from inner city youth projects? Set up cheaper private security firms and give them street arrest? It's standing like Detroit and Robocop at the moment. So, my next thing is to just try and encourage you to, them really good emails that we write. Yeah. Go back through it, rewrite it, spend 5 or 10 minutes, and then you send it to address coming at the end, Sarah Newton, and you send another one to Amber Rudd. It really does come across like, yeah, we got the consultation open to you, but we got no intention of listening to any of it at all. This stuff's going through. That's the end of it. The consultation is merely a process. It really does come across like that. And all of it is because they've got this idea of a few kids have done the naughty by ticky boxing on Amazon, and to be quite honest, the Home Office ever ain't got the balls to take on Amazon. They'd rather implement greater restrictions, more legislation, further bureaucracy on everybody, irrespective of where they're actually doing the job right. It's exactly the same as a few people speed on the motorway, so no more private users of private vehicles on the motorway. Only people who are trained, so only HGVs, only public licensed vehicles, PCV things, and only taxis. Because it's better for your safety. It's exactly the same outcome. We'll have to get someone else to check the ages for you. We'll have to get someone else to drive you up the motorway, because people are going too fast on the motorway. What? Next it'll be, you can't be trusted to cook food for yourself. You can only eat pre-cooked food. What? Where does it end? Where does it end? Anyway, further to this, I've had contact with other people. Now, the private messages that I've had, I'm going to fully respect who have private messaged me, private emailed me, private phone called me from people, linked outlets, linked manufacturers from this level to this level. I've had contact with, and from the sound of it, it doesn't matter whether you're right at the bottom like me, a sole trader pulling a few thousand a year, through up to top guns. I mean, we're talking beyond Ben and Lois, right up handmade stuff. There was one instance of the chap actually getting legal advice, so not just him doing it. He's actually notified a solicitor as well, and they're writing it in order that he's represented as fully as he possibly can. And to be quite honest, I think this Home Office, are just going to go, alright, thanks for the info. That's as much as I think they're going to do. Because until such time as they start listening to just the slightest bit of information, we're doing our age checks, okay? How do you tell the difference between an online sale where I've sold you a knife, so I'm packing up the knife and sending it back to you to your home address? So there's a knife in the post going to a home address. How do they tell the difference between I've made a knife and you've looked out for me for years and years and I've made you a knife and I'm sending it to you as a gift? That knife in the post, how do they distinguish between that knife sent as a gift, that knife sent as a purchase, other than the fact that one may have a receipt in and one will have a phone and letter off, thank you so much, I really love you, for my bestest mate. How's anybody going to know the difference? Because if then how's anybody going to take it that, well, don't put a receipt in, just put a letter. Okay? How do they tell the difference between someone sending me a knife when I do a knife handle job on it? How's anybody understanding when they send me a knife when I got to redo the blade on it? How do they know the difference about a knife in the post when it's a raffle for Help to Heroes? You can't specifically take a knife out of the postal service delivered to a home address without being able to distinguish what the actual position of that knife is in that parcel. They're going to have to stop everything, and they probably know that, or they are so clueless they don't appreciate all the other mix scenarios where a knife could be used, earning the post office money, making our lives easier. Are they that out of touch? I think they are. I really think they are out of touch. How about when someone sends something that's like, I did that machete to make the sheath. I haven't fiddled with the knife at all. I've just built the sheath to fit it. The knife's still got to come to me, and I've still got to post the knife back. Classic, cutlery, veteran, military, artifacts. And the Home Office is just going to go clear the table. Have they got a clue? So far, in not one respect, apart from that 5 minutes with Jacob, and he said, I fully understand when we do things like this, and we cast a broad net, unfortunately, the wrong people get caught. That is the only iota of appreciation that I think any of us have had. That's not good. I mean, Jacob's a backbencher. Okay, he's not part of the cabinet, and he can shout from the back benches. But unless someone in the cabinet's going to start elbowing people and going, "Here, you really need to pay attention to this," because if the bushcraft stuff didn't start picking up in tracks 30 odd years ago, okay, just imagine where the knife industry in Britain would be without any of that. Without Bear Grylls, without Ray Mears. That whole British bushcraft industry and how it's translated into Europe and America. Take that out of the UK economy. Have they grasped it? Because it's not just the fact, I know we only got to go to the post office to pick it up. It's the kick in the teeth. And we got to go along like good schoolboys and pick it up from the monitor's office. Come on. They're going to do it again, just like they did with handguns. And the poor Olympic team had to go to Belgium to practice. You know, when this goes through, and I'm pretty sure it will, I really want to see the undoctored statistics, the crime figures, after they've implemented this, just to see how much difference it'll make. Because to be quite honest, if they do one stop and search and they get one, as soon as that kitchen knife turns up and the kitchen knife turns up and the kitchen knife turns up and some old folding knives, right, some old Sheffield steel, all they start turning up, it'll prove, it'll show them that all they've done is stop 300-400 purchases a year, maybe. I'm coming up with a figure, not 6, I'm saying 300 or 400 crafty little oiks have gone ticky box Amazon and got it delivered to the shed, and they got it in their pocket, and they think they're safer. No, son, you need to get on with the gang across the road, or stay home at night and do your own work. Put the washing machine on, or put the dishwasher on, or make your mum a cup of tea. That's what you should be doing, son. Or you can say it. Don't want to be going around the street shanking each other. We know that, us old dope farts. But do they know? Are they aware, the Home Office aware of all the things that we do as a community, looking out for each other, doing raffles, doing repairs, making sheaves, rehandling, rebeveling, sharpening, servicing, customization? How is that going to get thrown into the mixing pot of the online sale for under or over 18? So, all your letters need to take elements from what I've said here today, and your previous thing that you've got, that you sent away to your MP, it really looks like you're not listening, and the Home Office needs to prove to us. I've actually hit my limit on my video. The camcorder stopped anyway. So what we want is the videos to say, are you actually listening? Because so far it looks that you're not. Alright? Imagine what it was like earlier last week. I wanted to be reasonably calm and effective on video, because I don't think it's worth doing a sort of a video rant. It's worth doing this in a calm, measured atmosphere. Are they getting it? I don't think they are. And we got to put a shield wall up. This is it. Last chance. Sarah Newton, Amber Rudd, and if you can, to your own MP, going, someone's just had a letter back from Sarah Newton, and it really looks like you're just going to ignore the lot of us. We want some letters back, and we don't want some cookie cutter response going, yeah, we appreciate all your input, and here's your consultation, put in your information, and we want to hear some of the feedback that you're getting to prove that you're actually going to listen, and the whole lot doesn't get shredded at the end. Because, imagine that we've all got the copies of what we sent in, and what is actually going to get any attention whatsoever. That's my worry. So I'm going to write a new one, and I'm sending it to Sarah Newton, and I'm sending it to Amber Rudd, and I'm going to send it to Jacob along the lines of, to Jacob, thanks for pleading our case. Unfortunately, all the response did was worry me that they're going to absolutely run roughshod over the lot of us. That's my worry. Let's go from Wessex Bladesuk. I've been busy, guys. As I say, I'm not going to mention who, what, how, why, but we're talking person, outlet, manufacturer, information on, and they've got solicitors in on it. Go on guys, shoot wall.